Hi, I'm Andre.
And I'm Andrea.
And we are doing Doctor Who. And so, Doctor Who is a kind of show where it can basically be anything, right? So you get, along with that freedom, a certain inconsistency. And you get a show that can produce the Romans, and then immediately after that, the Web Planet.
Yeah.
We just watched the Web Planet. It was worse than I remembered it
oh my god.
being. Yeah. The Web Planet is an epic story of a desperate fight for freedom. From the Menoptera, who live on the planet Vortis and are exiled by this horrible thing called the Animus, controlling these giant ant creatures called the Zarbi. And it's the story of the Menoptera joining forces with the Optera and driving the Animus out and reclaiming the planet. It's really a vast expanse, epic tale, right? And it really should have been.
God.
It should have been an epic tale, but they clearly didn't have any idea how to put this on screen.
No.
Yeah. I think you made more disparaging comments about this one than anything we've watched so far.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. There are so many things to hate about this. I don't even know where to start.
We can just start with the Zarbi themselves, the ant creatures.
God! Oh my god! Oh my god, the sound! Okay, the costumes themselves, terrible. Okay, they can't see, they're like fumbling around in them, their legs are still human. Okay, I can get over that, but the sound that they made was like, made me violently angry. I was so annoyed, and it was just constant. It was like a constant, like, and I'm like, ah!
So, The Web Planet was directed by a guy named Richard Martin, who is, for my money, the absolute worst director that Doctor Who ever had.
He needs to be beat up.
So, this story is really ambitious in that it's the first one that's on this really alien planet where there aren't any humanoids at all on it, and 3 different races of insect life, and it's well beyond their ability to actually realize. But some of the choices that Richard Martin made were terrible anyway, even beyond not being able to afford it. My least favorite is smearing the lens of all of the cameras with Vaseline in order to simulate an alien atmosphere. So the whole thing is blurry and indistinct and
gives you a headache.
It does.
Yeah.
It's painful.
It's painful
to watch.
The sound and like visually, this whole thing, painful.
Not only that, but to make the Zarbi non-communicative, to just have this beeping sound, and then to give the other 2 alien races, the Menoptera and the Optera, horribly annoying voices and patterns of speech.
Oh my god.
The Menoptera with their sing-songy, move the hands thing, and the Optera with their grunting and hopping.
The hopping. Oh god. Yeah. Eventually, like, I couldn't take any more of like, what do you think we should do? I'm like, shut up! That's what you should do! And then we get these grub creatures that hop and have the worst costumes I've ever seen in my entire life, ever. Like, including, like, costumes, like, my mom sewed for me for Halloween when I was 5. Like, these are worse. Like, these are bad. And then they, like, speak in riddle. You know what I mean? Like, and really, like, choppy and, like...
They're very hard to understand. Anything that has to do with the Optera is very hard to follow.
Yeah.
I mean, they're giving you plot points. They're telling you what's happening in the story, but you can't tell because they're talking in weird riddle. The story itself called for a number of epic battles between the moth creatures and the ant creatures. How did you find those battles?
It's terrible. They can't see. Okay, the ant creatures can't see, so they just like run around and like do this with their arms, all right? And then the moth creatures are like super gentle, and they're supposed to be like fluttery, and so they just like flutter around and try to knock the other guy over. I'm like, this is the worst play I've ever seen ever.
It does look like a high school play. It looks like a really bad high school play.
Really bad. Like one that I would like leave during intermission.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how people continue to watch the show after this.
Right.
I really don't. Like, I mean, we just watched this in succession, but like watching this an episode at a time over 6 weeks, I'd be like, forget this, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, they're fighting over this planet. That's like the whole basis of these stories. And I'm like, the planet looks like garbage. Like, let it go. Blow it up. Like, it's like just desert and dead and webs. But yeah, let's have these 3 creatures fight over control of it.
There's a famous moment in episode 3 where the ant creature who can't actually see runs headlong into the camera. And so that's... that you sort of see coming at some point.
Yeah. And and they're not like, hey, let's reshoot that.
No.
They're just like...
Got it, let's move on.
Oh, well.
So they are doing all of this live, which is partially an excuse for something like that. They can't really go back and retake.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when your ant creature runs headlong into the camera, it's kind of amazing.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's real bad.
I also like the one where the Zarbi who can't see trips over the wings that are
The
on
wings, that's
that
right.
can't move forward. Really great.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then
so painful.
the great bit in episode 1 where Hartnell completely forgets his line.
Oh, epically.
Epic dry.
Yeah.
He's
just
can't.
like, and like you can tell he's like trying to like search his mind, and then I'm pretty sure he just made something up.
Yes.
And they were like, all right.
Nobody can move forward until Hartnell says his line, and so
Right.
William Russell's there like, "What is it, Doctor? What do you mean, Doctor?" But these are all accidental things, right? These are all
Right.
things that,
Right.
that could happen at any time.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite moment in the Web Planet was written into the script. And this is the tragic moment in episode 5 where
Oh
they
my
break
God.
through they're underground, and they break through part of the underground cave wall, and the acid starts flowing forward.
Yeah.
And one of our grub creatures decides to valiantly sacrifice herself
Right.
by blocking the fissure with her head and dying.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be really sad,
Oh god.
but it's ridiculous.
Dying like standing up. Like she's like, oh, I'll plug it, and puts her head in. Oh god. And then they all just like one by one walk past her. She like still standing there with her head getting covered in acid.
Yeah.
This whole thing was so bad. I can't get over it. I can't get over how bad. I'm angry that I spent my time watching it. I hate you for making me watch it. Like, I feel violent. I do. Silver lining here, folks. Silver lining, okay? Hartnell and Ian, forget his real name, actually all the characters, they like really tried to sell it.
They did.
They really did.
They bought in.
Yeah, they did. Like, I can't believe none of them, like, in the middle, like, when they're in the middle of some battle between giant ants and giant, like, sissy moths, that they weren't like, you guys, doesn't this seem kind of stupid? Like, nobody's, like, said that? Like,
No, not even
Yeah.
our main characters, but all of the people in the crazy costumes. They really gave it their all. They sold
God.
it. And it didn't work in any way.
No.
Nothing about it
No.
worked. It works on no level whatsoever. But it's almost surreally bad, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're watching
Yeah.
it, like, you can't believe that this actually exists, that people actually
Yeah,
made
this was, like, television.
and transmitted this for
Yeah.
people to watch.
Yeah. I mean, this was the trippiest thing I've ever seen, especially at the end.
The Animus thing?
The Animus, the thing that's controlling all the evil and whatever. Creepy. So creepy.
It's a bright light with tentacles, and it makes them all just give up. And
Yeah,
and
she's
collapse.
like, resist. Or no, what did she say?
Approach.
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 Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have nightmares.
I think you really have to give this at least a little credit for sheer imagination, for not only to imagine a world like this, but to actually believe that they could bring this to life, and the self-confidence, the chutzpah that this required was amazing.
True.
Even as they're going through it, I mean, I'm sure at some point somebody looked at the moth creature costumes and said, "This is ridiculous. This isn't going to work."
So ridiculous.
But they pushed forward and they tried their very best to make this happen.
There's this whole thing called murdering your darlings, all right? Writers know all about this.
Yeah.
Okay, even if you write your absolute favorite character and it just doesn't work and you need to get rid of it, you get rid of it. This whole darling needed to be murdered, all right? Like, this is like the worst. How do they go from the Romans to this?
I don't know.
Like, you get halfway through this and you kill it. Kill it.
Yeah.
Like, just end it after 3 episodes. You're like, it's not working, let's just end it. I'm being aggressive about my dislike for these episodes, but I really could not believe how bad they were as I was watching them.
I tried to warn you.
I know you did. I know. I was so annoyed.
So anything final you want to say about the Web Planet?
I loved it. No.
This is actually how we're going to end the year, which
Oh,
I know
God.
is a terrible way to do it.
Yeah.
But when we come back in a couple of weeks, in January 2014, we're going to do a story called The Crusade. There's good news and bad news about The Crusade.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
much, much better than The Web Planet. That's the good news. The bad news is half of it is missing.
Right.
And so we're going to start to launch into our reconstructions when we come back. So, thanks for watching. Don't watch The Web Planet, but come back and watch us next time. What's that do?
Bye. I can still hear it.
I know.
It's on